Hello everybody, and welcome to Pravus Gaming and Steamed, the series where I go through my Steam library and find the games that I bought but never had a chance to play. And today we're trying out Grey Goo, a real-time strategy game brought to us by Petroglyph and released in 2015. Without much fanfare, despite clearly pretty good production values, this game really did not get a whole lot of attention, and to this day has mixed reviews on Steam, which is always a little concerning. So we're going to try out a single-player skirmish today, and we're going to just see if this game is any fun. I've already played some of the campaign myself, but I want you guys to see exactly how it's going to work. We'll do a free-for-all with probably 4 teams and just duke it out. There are a total of 4 races in the game. We are the beta to start off, and we'll probably play as them today. They're the basic ones. They are the underdog aliens that still use quaint little projectile weapons and mechs and stuff, you know? But they're kind of the good guys of the campaign. They're fun. The humans, surprisingly this time around, are the super advanced ones. We have teleportation and lasers and hovercrafts and drones. You don't usually see that in a sci-fi game, but that's a thing. The Goo, which is what this game is named after, is not actually goo as much as it is a cloud of self-replicating nanobots that form themselves into whatever they want. The Shroud, I have no idea who these guys are. They were recently added into the game. I have not met them in my campaign yet. Maybe they're fun, maybe they're not, no idea, oh well. We're going to go ahead and play against one of each, just to kind of get some extra flavor. And yeah, let's give it a shot. Alright, here we go. Starting off with our headquarters, we are going to immediately build up some economic buildings and start scouting. The economy in this game is extremely basic. There is only one resource to worry about up there, and that is catalyst. It's these weird purple fissure things in the ground. I don't know what catalyst is. I don't know why every race universally wants it and uses it. Some sort of magic gas crystal thing. I don't know. It's a thing. And some might say that that is one of the big downsides of this game. The economy is extremely basic. You don't have to worry about, you know, planning out your capacity for stone, gold, wood, and food like you would in Age of Empires. In this case, you have only one resource and you want to get as much of it as you can. It will never hurt to have more. A little irritating, but oh well, I can forgive the game for that. Let's continue exploring. Now, one thing to see here is there's actually a lot of this catalyst in this map, especially here in the center. Interesting. That tells me the AI is going to make a beeline for that, so we may have some scuffles there eventually. So I do want to scout a little bit and find out where my players are. What the heck? Why is there another... Oh, it's a Mimic. Oh. That must be a Shroud unit. I haven't seen them before. I was pretty sure I wasn't playing against another beta, especially a blue one. Well, anyway, is no one over here? Oh, there they are. That's the Goo right there. Hey, there's the real Goo, the mother Goo. So the Goo are weird, and they are the most asymmetric of the civilizations in this game, in that they don't build buildings. They are just one cloud of goo that travels over the catalyst and continues to feed on it and grow larger and larger until it can split itself off into smaller sections, which then go and form units, or also grab more catalyst, and you kind of grow exponentially that way by just spreading across the world. They're bizarre. They're kind of fun, though. The other guys are pretty generic. Like this here, for example, we're going to go ahead and build a factory before I forget. The humans in the betas, at least, are fairly similar in their play style. The units are all more or less serving the same function as each other. The only thing that's really different are the building tactics, right? The betas have to build everything in hubs. We place little hubs down, and then we just build our buildings next to it, and that's the only way you grow. The humans can have power conduits, and that's how they expand. They're a little bit weird, but, I mean, whatever. Ultimately, the two are pretty similar in their strength and their playstyle, and I wouldn't say there's anything unique about them. There's the humans right there, by the way. Super technologically advanced. You can see them teleporting things in right now. For some reason, their base looks like a hive from the Zerg in StarCraft to me. I'm really not sure why they did that. Weird aesthetic choice there, but okay. So this is the factory, and it can build all of those units. Here's all of our buildings. We're going to place down one of those small hubs I was talking about right there, and we can attach 2 buildings to that, 4 to a medium hub, and 8 to a large hub. The factory trains up all of your units. We're going to go ahead and build out some, probably some stalkers. There are some basic anti-armor units. All your units will be built at a factory, but you only unlock them by first building certain types of modules, which we'll go over again in a little bit. We'll probably want to unlock tanks and stuff later, because they're pretty darn good. We're going to go ahead and place down some of those exact hubs I was talking about right there. I'm placing down a tank attachment and an anti-air attachment. Those will be what unlock different types of different types of units for me, namely the tanks, any anti-air units that I would want, if we build factories to that hub. Just building the building does not unlock it for the entire empire, right? You actually have to plan out your production chains a little bit and kind of work them all together. I'm going to place down a wall here. The game definitely seems to favor walls. The betas in particular seem to like them, because you can have some types of units jump onto the walls and function like turrets, which can be a pretty nice advantage. All right, so now that we're going to have those techs down, I'm going to place down some large factories that allow us to place down, build 3 units at a time. And since they are attached to a hub that has an air attachment and a tank attachment, I can build a lot of tanks, basically. We're also going to place down this repair pad, and that will allow me to stand my units on top, any ground units anyway, and it'll just give them some free health. Open that up to a gate, and gaboom. Okay, we're set. So that middle area kind of concerns me. We need to expand, and I don't think I can go to the middle. That'll be too aggressive. But maybe if we walk over to some of those other catalyst points, which you can see in the minimap right now, we can place down a small hub next to them, and then a refinery, and that would allow us to get a lot more resources. Okay, there we go. You can see our large factories actually have some new units opened, including these Guardians. Their entire purpose is to hang on the walls and shoot down any air units or ground units that come nearby. They're kind of your turret. So I'm going to build a couple of those out, but mostly we're going to focus on tanks. Now, technology in this game is interesting. You can see the tech upgrades here. There are several different categories, mainly for light units, the heavy units, air units, artillery, and just like generic economic upgrades. What's weird about this is you can only have one from each category. You cannot have all of the artillery tech upgrades, right? You can only have one. So you have to pick and choose what playstyle you want to fit this particular time around, which is interesting, a bit restrictive, but it's interesting because it can seriously change the use of a particular type of unit. So I kind of like that. It makes the game feel a little bit more asymmetric as you play. This guy's going to hop up right here, by the way. There we go. See? Hey, now we have a turret. Look at that. You know, anyway. Yeah, the only way you can unlock those technology upgrades, though, is going to be through those tech attachments that I was showing you earlier that attach to the hubs in order to unlock different types of units. So you want to make sure you have at least all of those to get the tech, and then mainly just tie them to your production chains appropriately to build whatever you think you're going to need the most of. In my case, a crap load of Predators. Now, Predators are your generic tanks, and almost every faction has a tank like them. They are only able to shoot ground units, they have pretty solid damage, and they can shoot while moving, which is a pretty nice advantage because who likes using the attack move command when you can just walk around and be lazy? That's me. They're super duper good, expensive, but super duper good, and I have found that all you have to do is build 1 million of those, maybe mix in a couple of anti-air units if you think your opponent's going to use them, and then you can just deathball through the entire game, which is unfortunate because it kind of penalizes you a little bit if you want to play rock, paper, scissors and go for the a lot of like counter units like anti-cavalry, anti-air, and kind of thing you'd find elsewhere. It's not really a thing here. I mean, there are anti-armor units in this game, yes, but they don't seem to do that much more damage than a tank would, and a tank, it just has advantages straight up. So that's unfortunate because it really does mean that the military usage in this game is a bit simplistic, kind of like the economy. We're going to build a large hub down over here. The large hubs can be kind of fun because here's one more thing that differentiates the different races, is the epic unit. Now, I haven't experienced the epic unit for any of the other races, only the betas so far, but the betas one is pretty fun. If you build a large hub, attach all the different tech attachments and 2 large factories, you can upgrade it to the Hand of Rook. The Hand of Rook is a giant flying fortress on which you can attach 6 of those turret guys, and you just fly around destroying everything. Oh, crap! Okay, we found some of the goo. They're rocking around and doing their thing. They were attacking someone else, I thought. I thought I saw their cone of attack facing away from me. We may have another enemy nearby. Well, there they are. Okay, so now I know that the humans have set up a refinery nearby, because that's a harvester. There it is. Well, we can try to deny them some of their economy, at least. Probably kill this unit first, though. But yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Deny the AI their economy, that's good. Oh, we're getting shot from the bush. Oh, we're getting... Oh, God. Okay, there's a lot of them. Oh, I've made a mistake. Okay, we need to run away. What I was going to say... Uh-oh, we're going to lose all of our army, aren't we? What I was going to say is that the brush is an interesting mechanic in this game in that if you hide in the brush, you can shoot enemies outside, but they can't see you until somebody gets in there. It's kind of like elevation, but on the ground. Elevation in the brush becomes seriously important in this game. If you use it right, and your opponent doesn't react to it quickly enough, you can actually wipe out their army before they're paying attention. Which some might say is a little overpowered, and less fun? I don't know. I'm not here to make that kind of judgment. It's just a thing. Case in point, I'm going to jump into the bush right here, and you can see with that green icon right now, it's kind of like stealth. You know, we're in the bush, we can see inside the bush, which means if anyone was there, we could shoot them, and they can't see us if they're outside the bush, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Let's go ahead and build out that those tech attachments I was talking about before and start working toward that Hand of Rook. Because I would like to use that at some point in this game. It's really, really powerful. Slow, but really powerful. That said, if I'm playing this correctly, we should be able to wipe out my opponent before needing it. So we'll see. Hey, look, they're destroying all the plugs to really access the economy in the middle. Yeah, I cannot allow red... Oh, God, that's so many units. I cannot allow red to have the entire center uncontested, because then they're going to be able to destroy me, because there's only one resource, and if they have more of it than I do, pretty likely they're going to win. Hey, there's some goo in my base. What are you doing? The goo can run up into your buildings and start, like, breaking it apart and absorbing it and stuff. It doesn't do a lot of damage. I find it's more annoying than anything else. If the AI was smart, they would turn that goo into units instead. But whatever, the AI is not smart. Hey, we have a couple of anti-air units as well. Cloudbursts. And we're going to lose all of these guys, aren't we? Yes, we are. Okay. I've made a mistake there. The anti-air units are just kind of a backup plan in case something is sent to me, some bombers that I'm not prepared to deal with. From my experience, the AI does not seem to focus on air that much. So I'm going to need a couple of them, just to be safe. Odds are pretty good that I won't ever have to use it, though. So in this case, I'm not sure how I'm going to kill red if they're going to hold the center. But what I may do is try to backdoor their base with all these tanks. I got 12 right now with another, like, 12 to 18 on the way. So, yeah, maybe we just do that. Okay, looks like they've built out their base quite a bit, and they are indeed defending the back ramp, as if they knew that I was going to be here. Well, what do you know? So the humans, as I said, kind of have to build out their bases using power systems. Those are those power conduits on the ground. Fun thing, then, is that if I break some of those, like right here, attack this thing, it's going to shut down all the attaching buildings. And there we go. Now he's not going to be producing any more units out of that factory or getting resources from the refinery. It's one way to kind of screw over the humans quite a bit. And likewise, attacking the hubs would screw over the betas quite a bit. For now, I think we're just going to march around and wreak havoc, because I don't see an army, and I've got a whole bunch of tanks just waiting to shoot something. Well, despite the fact that this AI had all the advantages going into this, they've apparently just straight up given up, because that's how good my tanks are. Yep. Gotta love that unit variation. It's amazing. Alright, now we're going to build that Hand of Rook. You can see a whole bunch of stuff's going to come down here, and they're going to disassemble all the buildings, and they're going to start building my super unit, the epic unit. I might be able... Hey, look, goo! The mother goose trying to escape! Kill the goo! Alright, no more resource production for you. That should be fun. And there goes the red player. Right. Alright, let's go and clear out the center, and I'm going to use my epic unit to win the game. Player eliminated. Did another player just get eliminated? It said it twice. I think someone else may have just died. Huh. Let's go ahead and build up a medium hub over here so I can attach 4 more extractors in this region, refineries. And using them, I should have an absolute crud ton of resources, which means unless the goo decides to be really aggressive, we are going to win. Speaking of the goo being aggressive, here comes a bunch of their tiny little light units. And I just got an achievement. Small potatoes. Destroy 50 tier 1 units. Huh. I don't know why they're called potatoes, but okay. So let's see. Did the Shroud actually get eliminated, or is that not a thing? Because I know the goo are still around, because they're doing their thing. Whoa! Nope, they must be dead. That must be the Shroud headquarters. Fascinating. Oh gosh dang it, goo, get off of my building! They don't do damage very quick, but they're just annoying. Oh, you're kind of weird looking. Yeah, the goo have quite a few bizarre-looking units. Again, they're definitely the most asymmetric of the group. Hey, there's some mother goo soaking up cataclysts. If that thing grows large enough, it can split off little chunks and create units. We don't want that. So now that thing's dead, which slows things down quite a bit. And there goes the Hand of Rook. It's been built. Flying Fortress of Death. All right, we're going to have some of our tanks hop up into these little pedestals here, or whatever you call them, I don't know. And now it's going to fly around and kill things. Cool thing about the Hand of Rook. Oh, these guys are so freaking dead, aren't they? The cool thing about the Hand of Rook is not only is it a mobile fortress that can produce units, but it also has a giant artillery cannon on it that has a huge AoE effect that can just obliterate enemies. That said, it's so freaking slow I think it's going to be a bit before we can use it for anything. Makes me sad, but oh well. Okay, so now comes the part of the game where we just have to hunt for the goo. This is one of the reasons I don't like fighting them that much. It's annoying because they're inherently mobile. They don't have to... Oh, there it is! Kill the goo! Yeah, they're very mobile, which means that they'll be moving around, and it's in their best interest to be trying to sneak resources without me seeing them. So I'm going to have to basically go wherever the Cataclysm is and hope that some other goos are going to be located over there. Find them all and kill them. Hooray! Aha! There you are. Hiding down in the corner, are you? Is this going to be enough to actually win the thing, or am I going to lose all my units? I think we can kill it, right? Yeah, we can kill it. And that was the last of the goos. Okay, and we win the skirmish. Not that bad. Wonderful. Okay. Well, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and load up another skirmish match. We're just going to play as the goo themselves, because, let's be honest, that's probably what you're the most interested in. At least it's some stuff I was the most interested in. How does the goo play? Let's find out. There we are. Look at my giant pile of slimy goo. Look at all those nanobots. We're just going to go and hover on top of the catalyst and see what happens. You can see here that we can morph out large or small proteans and then more mother goos if we get large enough. It's a little bit weird to kind of see, but oh, there's a proto-purger. That's kind of fun. If you look on the far left, you can see that circle, which is kind of filling up right now as we sit on the catalyst. That's going to grow up, and as we do, it's going to fill in more and more of those, I don't know what you would call those, partial circles, whatever. And we can spend some of those as we grow to create something new, like the mother goo. So case in point, now that we have sat here long enough to fill in one of those sections, you can see that we could spend one to create a small protean or to research a tech upgrade. Both of those are options. I'm going to wait until we have 2 to create more mother goo so we can go gather more resources and have another base producing stuff, basically. We're just going to grow as exponentially as we can. There we go. Let's create another mother goo. And you can see it is splitting in half, and we are creating another mobile base. They're super vulnerable, but they're mobile. All we have to do is just go over there, and now we have 2 bases that are growing, and then we can have 4, and then we can have 8, and so on and so forth. Hey, we found the shroud. What weird-looking buildings. What do these guys do? I don't know. I don't know why we're fighting this, actually, now that I think about it. My scout's incredibly weak. The goo units aren't that strong. I think your real advantage is that if you have enough mother goo on the field, you could produce a ton of them. So they kind of swarm. So they're sort of kind of not a ripoff of the Zerg, really, when you think about it, right? Probably. I suspect this also means that the goo are extremely vulnerable to any early rushes if your opponent can make that happen. Not sure if they can or can't. I mean, a refinery costs so much money for the betas or the humans in the early game that I don't think you can just rush directly into military tech. But maybe, if you know your opponent's playing as the goo, maybe the strategy is to go ahead and build one factory, quickly produce like 8 cheap units with all of your resources, have no economy, and then just commit to winning. Maybe that would work. I don't know. Did I mention, by the way, that the goo can travel over mountains? Yeah, it's really annoying if you're playing against the goo and trying to chase them down. By the way, this is how we create our units. See what I just did there? Small protean, and now we can create 2 of these little guys. That's how it works. Yeah, it's really annoying fighting the goo because if you aren't fast, they can get away from you just by running over a mountain, and you have to run the long way to catch up. Let's go ahead and create some more of these, what do we want? Probably more of these Striders. Basic anti-armor units. Seems fine. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and take these 4 guys and go and scout and harass. Let's go ahead and create one of these large proteans. They make a totally different set of units. So small proteans make the weak tier 1 units, and these guys make the tier 2. These destructors, I know from painful experience, are actually pretty darn good. They're probably the equivalent of the tanks in a lot of ways. So we'll use them. I will say that tech for the Grey Goo seems a little bit limiting. It only really affects like 3 or 4 units. It's not much. So if I don't want to use certain ones like the Crescents, whatever they are or whatever, then, well, I guess tech is kind of useless to me, isn't it? Here we go, Destructors. Shoot your giant fireballs of death. Very effective. Shred right through you. All right, let's go ahead and create a whole bunch of units here. You can see in the bottom toolbar like how much goo all of your mother goos have available. So you can just quickly create a whole bunch of units if you want, like these 4 Striders, and then I'll send them to join up. All right, I think we have enough units to actually just go ahead and kill the Shroud. They haven't built much of a military at all. The AI in this game does not seem overly complex. If they think they have enough units to stand a chance, then all they're going to do is just throw themselves at you into the meat grinder, and if you have the right units, you can easily counter them, so nothing really special there. And they don't seem to focus a lot on building any sort of defenses. So, easy win for me. Alright, we have to destroy one more extractor, and I think we will be able to win here. So when Grey Goo first released, I believe they were charging a full $60 for the game, which is probably one of the reasons that it got such poor reviews in the beginning. Not because this game is bad, because it plays fine, and the production values and the graphics and everything else seem great. I think that they made the mistake of setting extremely high expectations for a $60 price tag that ultimately they did not meet. Since then, the game now only costs $30 on Steam and includes all of the DLC. So if you are into real-time strategies, at least it is now a bit more affordable. The campaigns, if you're wondering about that, is okay. It's not bad. The story could be pretty interesting. I think it really needed to be fleshed out a little bit more. They kind of just throw you right into the middle of things. You just have to take a lot for granted. You don't really build much of an attachment or a lore or any preamble into these different civilizations. You just kind of work with it, which is all right. The voice acting is okay. The cutscenes are pretty okay. I mean, really, that's a lot of what you can describe in this game, is that everything's just kind of okay. It's not bad by any stretch. The game is perfectly fine. However, it just sort of feels mediocre and unsatisfying in a lot of ways. I've probably put a good 3 hours into the game now, and every time I've come out of it, I'm like, all right, great. But is that how I would want to spend my time and my money on a game that I'm just kind of like, okay, great? Maybe. I think if I were really big into real-time strategy games and I had already burned out on all of the other much better games like StarCraft and so on, then this is something I could pick up, especially if I found it on a good sale. Now that it is $30 for the base game and all the expansions, I do think it is more reasonable to get into this game, so it's worth trying out. I have no idea if the multiplayer community is still a thing. I suspect it has been dying out for a while. But if anyone knows otherwise, then by all means, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video and found it in some way informative. If so, then I ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.